Good evening, teacher.
Hola.
Hola a todos. Bien, ya saben la pregunta de siempre. ¿Hay alguna duda? ¿Todo bien? ¿Algo que quieran revisar? Los escucho, ¿eh? Estoy buscando algo en otra página de lo que vamos a hacer. Pero... No, nadie. ¿Todo bien? Bueno. em, ¿Alguien me puede recordar cuál fue la actividad que hicieron en grupo la clase pasada? ¿Por qué están todos callados? Marco, dime.
Yeah, we were talking about five possible apocalyptic scenarios. So the activity was to choose one and try to solve it.
Okay, and we agreed on that you were going to share
Yeah,
your
my
visions.
team.
Okay, excellent. Who wants to start?
Uh, I don't let me see. I remember that Juarez Granados was with me. One of the other teammates is not gonna take the class today, so I don't remember the last member. So, but we were talking about the problem number one, the pollution,
Mhm.
the air with a lot of pollution. And, okay, and we agree about um, like a first step, we need to stop like the big factories as literally like to stop the work so the air can breathe. Another, the second, to be like educated uh, in the sense of, for example, like the trash burning. We were talking too about maybe modify some plants so they don't need like the lights or the sun that much and can grow. So we can have sources to eat, sources of new type of food. Because I remember in the problem number one, that was an issue too. Like there's no sun, there's no food, there's no plants. So basically, that was our talk.
Excellent. One thing that pops into my mind when I listen to this problematic that you are talking about is that science. Let's generalize here. Science is oriented to create solutions to make another planet fit for human beings. And you mentioned something that I think it's quite interesting, that without sun, with pollution, there's no plants. So it's the end of mankind if we get to that point. What do you think that could happen if we are trying to colonize other planets, improving solutions for these problematics instead of creating solutions for the ones we already have in this planet? I mean, what do you think? This is a question for anyone. Obviously, Marco was talking about his team and the things they discussed, but this could be open to anyone. No one? ¿Qué les pasa hoy que están muy callados? Oigo por ahí una voz muy bajita, pero no distingo quién es.
¿Cuál fue la pregunta, profe?
Excuse me, teacher. I can't understand the question. So can you repeat me, please?
Yes, what I was saying is that Marco was talking about improving solutions. For example, in this apocalyptic scenario, his team chose problematic number one. We were talking about that without plants, without sun, there are not possible ways for life to persist. So my question was, what do you think that science is putting an effort in creating conditions for human beings to live outside this planet, to create a fitable environment in other planet instead of solving this one, the problems that we have in this one? Noe, I saw that you raised your hand. Do you want to say something?
Well, hello everybody. Hello, teacher. Well, they are doing that right now. Well, not 100%, but they are working on that. No, well, for example, Elon Musk, NASA, maybe. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but Elon Musk wants to colonate, well, conquistate,
Colonize.
colonize. Por ahí va. Colonize the moon and very soon the Mars. So there is the idea. There is an idea, but I don't know if they have the capacity of do that. So that would be a possible. That would be a one very good solution. But I don't know if near 10 years maybe they will be a good option. I don't know.
I agree with that, but I don't know. 10 years is too soon. Especially now, I have this conflict. I don't know if some of you agree with this. We have not yet explored the totality of Earth. We can talk about the seas, the oceans, and we're trying to conquest space. I know, and this is something that creates a conflict inside me because let me see if you catch this phrase. That's something that I think a lot. I was born too late to explore Earth and too soon to explore space. Because in my wildest dreams, I would love to be like a space pirate or something. Obviously, I like that very much. But I think that I'm not going to be alive to see that. For science, 10 years is just a blink, even a century. Have you ever realized how many advances have we made in 1 century? Uh, just imagine what are going to achieve in 1,000 years if we are still alive. That's something to be seen. But that's like it's interesting. And what do you think, Noe? It's more difficult to explore oceans, the ocean's depth, or space?
I think the ocean depth, because of the pressure, because of it's more pressure in the ocean than in the space. So yeah, it's more difficult in the ocean.
I don't know what I am more afraid of. What we could find in the ocean's depths or in space. I know Carl Sagan said that there are two possibilities: that we are alone in the universe and that we are not, and both are terrifying. Yeah, I like that one.
Sorry, another otra cosa. NASA, I don't know where who they were exploring the ocean and they stopped. Suddenly they stopped exploring the ocean, and then they explored the universe. So that is kind of weird. They stopped exploring ocean. Why?
Yeah, and what happened with the submarine a couple years ago? That was frightening.
With the multinational,
Yeah,
people.
yeah, the millionaires that were doing that. I think that that could be one of the most horrible ways of dying. If I could make my own top five 100 ways of dying, that would be like top five of the worst I can think.
I think.
Because-
Sorry, sorry.
Wasn't it painless? The death?
Sorry?
One big explosion, painless death.
When people ask soldiers during World War One, how would they prefer to die? By machine gun fire or by landmine? All of them said by machine gun fire because it was quick, it was more or less painless, and the possibility of being maimed, dismembered, was little compared to a landmine. So sometimes I think that we are afraid not of dying, but we're afraid of pain. That makes sense. A ver, Jesús, estamos repasando, o más bien revisando lo que les dejé la clase pasada. Les había puesto 4 escenarios apocalípticos realmente y qué problemáticas había y qué se les ocurría para resolverlo. María, adelante.
Hola, buen día. Esta es mi primera clase y no sé exactamente qué están hablando, pero más que todo me gustaría saber cómo funciona y todo lo demás, porque no sé nada, es primera vez que entro.
Ok, te explico muy rápido. Realmente no es una clase, es un club de conversación. La idea es que siempre estamos conversando temas diferentes. La clase pasada, normalmente no les dejo, o sea, no uso cosas de las clases anteriores, pero en este caso sí fue así. No nos dio tiempo de revisarlo. Les puse 4 escenarios, algunos sobre cambio climático, otros sobre exploración espacial y así, y eran problemáticas que en equipo tenían que plantear soluciones posibles para que esto funcionara. De eso es lo que estamos hablando ahorita. Los temas son muy generales, a veces les pregunto de noticias, a veces de cosas que les gustan, o sea, la idea es hablar. Lo que te recomiendo, si ya tienes algún nivel de inglés, es que hables en la clase. Si estás empezando, empieza a trabajar con Duolingo y conforme vayas avanzando, ya vas participando más. No sé qué nivel tengas ahorita, pero cualquier duda que tengas. Y otra cosa también para los nuevos, porque veo que hay varios. Hoy, al principio de las clases siempre les pregunto si tienen alguna duda. Esto puede incluir gramática, vocabulario, lo que se les ocurra. Me pueden preguntar lo que sea en esa clase, en ese momento de la clase. Siempre es al principio, ¿va? Y te digo, cualquier duda que tengan me pueden interrumpir en cualquier momento para preguntarme. ¿Va?
Ok, gracias.
Nada. Y déjame ver. Raúl, do you believe that if you can colonize the planets, that you can do, since you yourself are aware that with your environment for the ocean is the difficulty to pressure that it's under and above all the organism cannot pressure? Raúl, te recomiendo investigar sobre un organismo que se llama tardígrado. Es muy interesante. Es un organismo que vive en la Tierra. Si podemos duplicar las características de ese animalito, las cosas van a cambiar. Perdón, ¿quién levantó la mano? Edgar, adelante.
Sí, profe, yo igual que la compañera soy nuevo, la primera clase que yo tomo, pero no sé si lleven un tema avanzado, algunas indicaciones o cómo está el sistema, porque realmente como estoy estudiando la carrera de recursos humanos, sí me interesa este tema de inglés.
Pero ¿a qué te refieres específicamente? O sea, como les decía, es más que una clase, es un club de conversación, entonces los temas son variados, aunque eso no no impide que revisemos algunas cosas de gramática o por el estilo. Pero no entiendo bien a qué te refieres.
En realidad yo soy nuevo, totalmente nuevo en el tema, todo lo inglés, y por sí me interesaría interactuar con todos ustedes, pero no sé si es algo avanzado o algo medio para nuevo inicio.
No, pues los niveles están mezclados. Hay alumnos más avanzados, otros que están empezando. Lo mismo que te recomiendo es que empieces a trabajar con Duolingo. Aprende mucho vocabulario. Y normalmente yo les hago las preguntas en inglés y en español para que puedan entender sin problema. Lo que sí te recomiendo es, ahorita puedes usar el traductor, no te vuelvas dependiente de él, pero sí trata de hablar lo más posible. No importa que estés empezando, la idea es que empiecen a hablar.
Ok, profe, gracias.
To use the function of this animal as part of creation or on a teacher model. ¿A qué te refieres con teacher model, Raúl? Jonathan, dime.
Excuse me, teacher. I'm a beginner also, so sometimes I try to see movies, to watch movies or series, something like that, and see it in English. But I don't know if it's better to see it with subtitles or without.
Te respondo en inglés o en español, ¿qué prefieres? Es una buena pregunta esto.
I'm not sure. Maybe both.
Okay. First, in English, I think that watching movies is a very good way of training your ears to understand the language. Sometimes it could be difficult, especially at first. You're going to be confused because people tend to speak in a more natural way in movies. They're not speaking slowly or they're not making special emphasis on some words. So it could be difficult. My recommendation is watch a movie that you already know. In my case, it's The Lion King. I've watched that movie 1,000 times when I was a kid, so I know the dialogues by heart. So what I try to do is, I recommend you doing this is put the movie on, play it, and first use put the watch the movie in English and then subtitles in Spanish. And then once you are familiar with the movie, switch to English subtitles. So you are going to read at the same time that you are listening. That's a very good way let's say this, to improve your pronunciation for starters and to train your ear to be more accurate when you are listening. So that would be my recommendation. En español se lo resumo súper rápido. Jonathan me pregunta si es mejor ver una película, que le gusta ver películas y series en inglés, si le recomiendo usar subtítulos. Sí, lo que les digo para los que están empezando, usen subtítulos en español al principio, pongan la película en inglés o la serie, los subtítulos en español, y una vez que ya están más familiarizados, pongan los subtítulos en inglés y esto les va a ayudar a entrenar su oído al mismo tiempo que van a ir aprendiendo la pronunciación de las palabras, van a ir leyendo al mismo tiempo que escuchan. Es un ejercicio muy útil. El otro que yo les recomiendo mucho es leer. Ese a mí me funciona bastante. Raúl, dime.
Sí, profesor. Me refería a lo que dice Teacher Model, con respecto a la creación de un modelo. Por ejemplo, sobre un objeto o alguna creación que nos permita poder conocer más a fondo el mar. Que pudiéramos duplicar la forma del animalito, pero ya ve que, de hecho, si no mal recuerdo, fue un actor de un cine, no me acuerdo exactamente su nombre, que fue quien hizo modelos, que investigó incluso un poco más al fondo del mar. Entonces se me fue su nombre.
Steven Spielberg.
Ándale, profe. Y ya ve que también está incluso
No es cierto. James Cameron, perdón, porque él fue el de Titanic.
Sí, exacto, profe. Ya ve que también está Gusto, que también luego él hacía sus videos igual, y que hacía sus investigaciones sobre el fondo del mar y todo eso.
Sí, es muy interesante, pero como decía Noé, de repente se detuvieron. Very good. Yuritsi, yes.
Ay, nada más es una recomendación. Ahorita que estaba hablando de lo de las películas, que pongan subtítulos en español y así, que empiecen a ver, bueno, a escuchar más bien. También les recomiendo una aplicación que se llama Readable. Ahorita la escribo. Ahí hay noticias, vienen noticias, pueden leer de acuerdo a su nivel, o sea, igual como que los separa por niveles. Y tienen la opción igual ¿cómo se llama? Pues sí, como de que sea la noticia en audio o puedes leerla. Y también un podcast que se llama Listening Time. Ese es, o sea, tiene varios temas y luego te entretienes mucho escuchando, o sea, los temas variados. Es recomendación. Para igual los que están empezando como yo, porque yo no tengo un nivel todavía, pero sí es bueno. Es bueno empezar con esos. Bueno, con esas, yo les doy esas dos opciones porque sí son interesantes y a mí, pues me sirven.
Si no recuerdo mal, ya habías mencionado la de Readable, ¿verdad? En otras clases.
No, no, porque también apenas me la recomendaron. Tiene como 2 semanas que me la recomendaron.
Es que alguien había mencionado una página que ponía noticias así en varios niveles. Eso me parece excelente. Pero no me acordaba del nombre de la aplicación. Sí, yo soy de una generación que los podcasts, o sea, no oigo ninguno, ya estoy viejito, pero nunca me he sentido tan atraído con los podcasts, pero es una excelente opción, sobre todo porque no te va a distraer con la parte visual, eso es importante. A ver, Jesús, Colonizing planes in the distant future could involve the use of advanced technology to create sustainable habitats, efficient space transportation, and life support systems. Por cierto, para los alumnos nuevos, de repente, como ahorita Jesús escribió su respuesta, si llegan a tener alguna duda de vocabulario, igual me pueden preguntar en cualquier momento. First, expansion of humanity and search for new resources, diversification of human life in case of disasters on Earth, advancing science and technology, cons, high cost and resources required for colonizations, risk to the health and safety of colonization. Jesus, do you know or are you aware of how the colonization process was in the 16th, 17th century? This is a question for everyone. Do you have any ideas of how it was, this process of colonizing?
You mean the Spanish, Mexico, or what?
In general, because every major empire, European empire, started colonizing other territories. But are you aware how it was at the beginning?
I don't know, maybe it started with trade. They started selling and buying stuff from the land, and then I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm just guessing.
It was pretty dark because there are 3 steps in the colonizing process. The first one is exploring, obviously, and for this you need experimented sailors. In this case, when we talk about exploring the Earth, so experienced sailors and crews that were not very committed to life or to live. Actually, that's the first. You have to discover. You come back. You draw maps, and that's it. Step 2 is you're going to send not the finest, because colonizing is difficult. Obviously, you're going to find resources. You could encounter resistance from the local inhabitants, but it was not easy. If you Mexico was pretty easy because there were a lot of resources, and besides what Mexican history tries to teach us, indigenous people received the Spaniards in a very good way. So Mexico has easy geography, and adjacent orography too. But if you want to see the real pain of colonizing, you should take a look at Brazil. Francisco Pizarro was the one in charge of discovering these spots, besides some other um, explorers, but it was quite difficult. And the third step in colonizing territory is when you found settlements and they start to grow. But in the case in America's case, uh, cent- almost 2 centuries passed before this was done. Um, una cosa también, bueno, no tiene nada que ver con lo que estamos hablando. Siempre entren con su correo institucional, porque veo que hay varios que intentan entrar y no los dejan porque no están con su correo institucional. To colonize a place is necessary to be able to go out and get to know it. If you can't, it would be more like science fiction. Exactly. Obviously, you need to know the place, and something really important is being able to go back home so you can pass the knowledge. It doesn't matter if you discover. Do you know what El Dorado, the legend of El Dorado, was?
The movie? Yeah, yeah.
No, the legend in general. Obviously, the movie, the animated movie, is great. That makes me laugh every time. But you can discover El Dorado. But if you're not able to going back home, it doesn't matter.
It becomes the Avatar movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
like Raul said, is science fiction. Is like, okay, yeah, I colonized Mars, but I was not able to go back, so no one knows. So it's not. I don't know. Obviously, We're trying to colonize Mars because it's the nearest planet that we have, with more or less habitable conditions, with a lot of work. But sí, real sourcing is okay. Es que a veces me siento como locutor de radio porque tengo que estar poniendo atención a lo que hablamos y al chat. Estoy leyendo los mensajes de los radioescuchas. Very good. And well, who else has an idea of this? We started talking about the first scenario, and I think that slowly we switched to the fourth, that was space colonization. I think that are both related. Did you watch this movie Wally?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's the future. We are not. We don't need to be in a spaceship to be acting like idiots attached to our cell phones. We are already there. But I think that's the future. We are not doing nothing to prevent climate change and all those things. And I think this is a personal opinion. Obviously, you can disagree with this. Is that media in general and governments are trying to issue this problem to people, like you have to recycle, you have to. But major industries are the ones that are polluting the most. So we can spend our life thinking that we are saving turtles because we're not using straws to drink. But in the end, it doesn't matter because I could save. How many straws do you think that you are going to use in your life? Like 1,000? And maybe you're going to spare some turtles of dying of these dangerous straws. I don't know. They can eat poisonous jellyfish, but they are going to get killed by straws. So, but the thing is that that amount of pollution, 1,000 straws that you are going to use during your lifespan, let's say 75, making a world average, and the same pollution is going to be created for a major industry in 5 minutes. So we can help, but we are not the main cause. They say, oh yeah, you have to use a bicycle or some sustainable clean energy transportation. Okay, very good. So I'm going to use my electric car because the industry told me that this is the best option for the planet. But how much I am contributing to pollution to charge that car? In Mexico, electric energy is quite clean. Some other countries, would you say that hydroelectric is cleaner than nuclear?
Mm, yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, you think that nuclear is a dirtier energy than hydroelectric?
No, no, professor.
No, I mean, nuclear is very
Nuclear.
safe, but
Sorry, Jesus, I didn't quite catch what you said. Sorry, can you repeat?
the nuclear power factories or power plants are pretty safe, and the residuals that they create, they can be stored and they can be reused. But the using the heat of the earth, I think is pretty cool too. So I live in a place where the government uses the geothermal energy to create to power the grid. So it's pretty clean.
I think that we are facing three great energy sources: geothermal, eolical, and solar. If we can switch to that, a lot of the things are going to change. And right now, Saudi Arabia is creating the biggest solar panel energy generator in the world, and it's amazing. They're going to be completely out of fuel dependency in like 15 years if they achieve that plan. I think it's amazing. But we are far behind here in America. I think that we're far behind. Raúl, yes.
Yes, profe. Digo, sí, profe. I will where unable to colonize of the planets. How will you deal with two case?
¿Cómo trataría qué, perdón?
Sí, me refiero a que si no pudiéramos colonizar otros planetas, ¿cómo usted tomaría ese caso o esa información?
Te lo voy a responder en español y muy sencillo. Abrazaría mi destino y, pues ya esperaría el dulce abrazo de la muerte, porque no hay de otra. Sí, si no podemos resolver el problema actual y no encontramos una solución, vean Mad Max. Yo no estoy inventando nada, o sea, Mad Max es una película apocalíptica, pero que estamos cada vez más cerca. Entonces, hay una película malísima de Kevin Costner que se llama Waterworld, que es...
Malísima, ¿verdad?
Sí, no, es que no hay manera. Yo la vi cuando era niño y no lo logré, porque venía de ver muchas películas buenas de Kevin Costner, pero me parece interesante cómo propone esta idea de que en lugar de un desierto, todo va a quedar cubierto por agua. Entonces, como que muchas de las películas apocalípticas son así, el desastre nuclear, ¿no? Y todo se muere y todo queda así en un desierto, pero si fuera de la otra forma, obviamente no sé qué sería más fácil de adaptar. Pero bueno, Gladys, habías levantado la mano, adelante.
But I think that nuclear energy is clean. Why? Because in Japan, they use that energy to generate electricity.
Yes, I also believe that nuclear energy is safer and cleaner in so many ways. The thing is that we have experience. I can remember Fukushima in Japan. I can remember Chernobyl, and I think that's it. The ones I can remember. Obviously, there have been more. There is another one, Griskim. I don't remember what it was, but it was a nuclear disaster. The thing is that we have three major disasters in history since we are using nuclear energy, and we tend to believe that this energy is it's dirtier and it's not as good or is not that safe. But the thing is that those three accidents had created a lot of chaos. Can some of you tell me if there has been any this natural disaster or quite apocalyptical disaster when we talk about hydroelectrical or geothermic? No. So we are aiming for the safest. In Mexico, we have a nuclear power plant in Veracruz. It's not working anymore, but there was this project, Laguna Verde. I remember. Jonathan, yes.
Yeah, in fact, in this moment, the plant Laguna Verde is working. In fact, there are in the 100% capacity. I'm not sure about this word. It's in the 100% of her generation, and in almost all the time is working. In fact, is um, the first generation that is considered by the SENACE.
Yes, but I'm worried because I don't know. This government cannot keep subways running without an accident, and nuclear fallout would be. And in Veracruz. Well, no, yes.
Teacher, how do you say presa? I think it's the same.
Presa se escribe jam. Ahorita te lo escribo.
Hello. Hello.
Okay. Jam. como lo escribí. Puede ser hydroelectrical jam cuando tienes los generadores y todo eso, o nada más presa para mantener el agua.
Yeah, okay. Talking about the hydroelectrical dam, I remember about this dam in China that changed the rotation a little bit, the rotation of Earth. So I don't know how dangerous that would be, but maybe change a lot of things in the Earth. I don't know.
Sorry, I was trying to answer in the chat, but I couldn't activate that. Yes, I remember when I read about that dam in China. Some scientists say that even the slightest change in Earth's rotation could be catastrophic, but some others say that elliptic route is changing constantly. Obviously, not in a major scale, but some say, and I have to be honest with you, I'm not completely informed about the situation. When we have hotter or colder years, this is a manifestation of these subtle changes in the elliptical route of the Earth. Could be. I'm not sure, but one thing that, as long as we keep, Earth keeps inside the electromagnetical attraction of the sun, we're going to be okay. I think that. I'm not sure. Y Yuritsi, damp. ¿Por qué no puedo escribir? Es que pantano puede ser damp o swamp. No sé por qué no me deja escribir. Sí, damp, ajá. Aunque swamp, mira, swamp se refiere más a los pantanos así, estilo Florida. Y damp es como más lodoso. Raúl.
Ay, perdón. Es que me acordé del personaje ficticio de DC, de Swamp Thing. Ajá. Y lo estaba relacionando, pero dije no, o sea, me confundí. Pero Swamp es pantano, la cosa del pantano. Swamp Thing.
Es que damp casi siempre va a funcionar a veces es un poco más un adjetivo, que significa húmedo. De hecho, cuando hablamos de damp y nos referimos al terreno, a veces se puede traducir como humedales, hay mucho lodo. Y swamp sí es como esos de Florida, con muchos cocodrilos. No sé cómo la gente puede nadar en Florida con tanta confianza cuando hay tantos cocodrilos, pero bueno. Ahora sí, Raúl, adelante.
Yes, profe. No, Newtown, you mentioned nuclear energy. I feel you remember correctly. Once, one my auntie drink, Anton, during my visit to my native country, mentioned that a person had been cured of the cancer with a nuclear energy.
Some cancer treatments against tumors are using radiation. I think that science, I'm going to enclose all these ideas in something. Science could be dangerous, especially when we don't get it. If you take the example of Marie Curie, she kept, I think it was uranium in her pocket for years. So that's why she had this terrible cancer. You know that she is buried under I don't know how many inches of concrete. So it would be dangerous, but at the same time, she discovered something that changed the world. Mercury was used as a treatment. If a woman was hysterical, doctors recommended administering a couple of drops of mercury. You drink mercury. So in today's world, this is like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? I remember someone told me if you break a thermometer, well, obviously I'm talking about a mercury thermometer, you should call the fireman because it's so dangerous. And I remember when I was a kid, I played with mercury on my hands, and I'm still here. I hope that there are no consequences, but we'll see. ¿Quién levantó la mano y la bajó?
Ah, no, soy yo, profe.
Raúl, adelante.
Sí. I have to even research. ¿Cómo se dice investigando, profe?
I have been researching.
Ay, sonó muy rápido.
Te lo escribo.
Sí, por favor, profe. That we Artemis using alternative medicine. I have researching.
I have been researching.
I have been researching.
Léelo así, researching.
Researching. Ok. Thank you, profe.
La pronunciación fonética es muy útil para muchas palabras. Yeah, alternative medicine is something that I don't know what do you mean with alternative medicine, because I think that this is my opinion. Don't kill me. Things like homeopathy. I don't know if it works. I don't think so, but I used homeopathic treatment for allergies a couple of years ago, and it worked, but I think it was more psychosomatic. I don't. Rosa, sí, no te preocupes. Acá nadie se sale si no es por propia voluntad. No te preocupes. Si tienes cualquier duda, pregúntame. Miguel, es.
Okay, teacher. Okay, one question. Research is when you look the internet, ¿no?
No, cualquier tipo de investigación. Research tiene una connotación más académica, más científica.
But could be I have been investigating.
Ajá. Son verbos similares, investigar y... Bueno, en este caso los dos van a significar investigar. Fue buena esa, no la pensé. Pero sí, mira, cuando tú buscas algo en internet, vamos a suponer, te voy a poner 3 ejemplos muy fáciles. Si estás investigando un artículo, no, un tema de ciencia, yo usaría research. Si vas a hacer un experimento científico, vas a usar research. Si estás buscando algo en internet como una dirección, vas a usar looking for. Research tiene una connotación más académica, más científica. Looking for, eso estoy buscando. No tienes que hacer una investigación científica para encontrar el número de un plomero en internet. O tal vez sí, porque cada vez hay menos plomeros buenos. La mayoría cobran muy
But
caro.
okay, but the 3 phrases could be fine,
¿Qué diferencias hay?
or depend on the situation.
Sí, te digo, son sinónimos. Por ejemplo, the scientists are investigating a new virus. ¿Sí? Los científicos están investigando un nuevo virus. Scientists are researching a new virus. Esto es como muy personal, pero al menos en el contexto que yo lo he encontrado, como que research puede involucrar un poquito más experimentos, pero de forma práctica son sinónimos.
Okay, so researching is very polite than investigating. Is or
No, las dos
both
son,
are similar.
las dos funcionan. Sí, o sea, no es que sean más educadas o nada, o sea, las dos son sinónimos, pero tienen ese contexto.
Okay,
Sí,
very good.
sí. Sí, puedes usar las dos. Y a ver, ¿qué pasó? Gladys, sí, el atolón de Mururoa, la Polinesia francesa, ¿no? Sí, ya no había oído de eso en un rato. Esas pruebas nucleares que luego hacen, por eso luego hay Godzillas en el mundo. So, a friend of mine told about in family was encouraged to try natural medicine and help her family member who was sick lung cancer. She also mentioned Artemisia. Raul, one thing that I keep finding is that I remember a friend's mother-in-law got cancer and she was doing all right. But the moment she started the chemotherapy treatment, in a couple weeks, she passed away. I don't know. In a more personal way, my mom had cancer. She passed away from lymphatic cancer, and she got like I think like 4 or 5 sessions of chemotherapy, and it didn't work. So a lot of people told us we could try to alternative medicine, but the cancer was so aggressive, so there was no time. There was no time. Sorry. Anyway, yes.
I don't remember what I wanted to say. Oh yeah, coming back to the radiation topic, I remember about this engineer that ate uranium. How do you say uranium?
Uranium.
Uranium. Okay. This engineer ate uranium, and I don't remember the. In order to prove that it's no dangerous, he died around 85 years old, I think, by natural causes. Is that correct? Natural causes. Yeah, I remember about that engineer, but I don't know. I don't know how to think about it. So, but I remember about this, about him.
In the late, no, it was in the early 20th century. I remember the same thing happened with a scientist who said that plutonium was safe, and what he did to demonstrate this is that he drank water infused with plutonium, and he died pretty fast. So, yeah, I'm not that aware of how this works in terms of what can produce cancer. But the thing is that, for example, take a look at the Chernobyl employees who died horribly after a couple months after being exposed. Even I think that the site of this fission in the this rupture in the nucleus is one of the most dangerous places in Earth because of that. So I don't know. I'm not going to do tourism there. But yeah, I don't remember the name of the scientist you were talking about, but I remember reading about that too. Yes, it's amazing. I think that I got HBO just because of that and Game of Thrones. Yeah, it's very good and very interesting when we talk about history. Raul, yes.
Yes, teacher. There is a person, pardon, will also mention it, Andreas Lubin Kalker, a scientific, and mention the answer why to cure it.
Sorry, Raul, I lost the last part you said.
¿Cómo? Disculpe, profe. No entendí.
Lo último que dijiste, no te entendí.
Ok, disculpe. ¿Se lo puedo pegar aquí en el chat? ¿No hay problema?
Sí, sí. I see that we have a lot of Chernobyl fans here. It's a very good one. How's the name of this guy? Jared Harris. He's like the main character. He is very good. And in the end, they say, or there's like these files trying to prove that the accident was caused by the CIA because they were doing things that should not be done. The thing here is that we will never know. This is a subject for another class, probably. But did you read something about the JFK files being declassified? No, Trump
Yes,
did
yes,
that.
yes, yes. 80,000 files were declassified. 80,000. Who's gonna
Uh,
read all that shit?
yeah, it's going to take a long time, but it could be very interesting because I think this is one of the most relevant or important, talking historically, sorry, magnicides in the modern world. Okay, Kennedy was a very particular president, and 80,000, like you said, it's a lot. I think that when governments do this, do you know if the Tlatelolco files have been completely declassified? I think not.
I
They
think
have
not.
not.
No.
Yeah, just some of them. But it's interesting, and it was an interesting political move by Trump. Professor Andres Ludwig Kala, scientist, and he also mentions a way to cure it. Yes, Raul. No, I understand now. It'd be interesting to take a look at this. Pretty good. Well, we started talking about apocalyptic scenarios, and we ended up talking about one of the best series ever made. No, yeah, just to finish this lightly because we talk about some serious stuff today. What would you say it's a better series than Chernobyl? Everyone, just tell me what's the best series for you.
For me, True Detective season 1 is the best.
Very good too.
Or
Raul? Oh, yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Robot.
Sure, but I have not seen that one.
Mr. Robot. All seasons, the best.
Yeah,
1
series
through
are
4,
dangerous.
the best.
Miguel, if I could grade this class, you would get a straight A, a 10, 100. Doctor House is a series that I have seen 3 times, and I absolutely love that. Yeah, very good. Raúl, yes,
La de The Good Doctor.
The Good Doctor. Yeah, it's a good one too. I have not seen that because I have a problem with these kind of characters. I tend to get um, anxious about seeing how they interact. But it's a very good series. Yeah, I love. Well, I prefer House every day, but it's very good. Noe, do you have an answer?
I don't know a favorite series, favorite movie, and I'm trying to classify it. But I don't know. I love all the series that I have seen. Doctor House is one of the best. My brother is doctor because of Doctor House. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, Los Simuladores. Have you ever seen that? Los Simuladores. I don't know how to say that in English. But
It's actually the series is in Spanish, right?
it's Spanish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can say that. Yeah,
Los
it's very good
Simuladores.
too. Yeah, Stranger Things. Gladys says Stranger Things. I don't know. I think the first and second season are very good, but then I think they lost the track. But it's a very good one too. I really enjoy that '80s vibe. I was uh, I was born in '83, so I don't remember a lot of the '80s, but I love the aesthetic and things like that. Very good. Raúl.
No, profe, se me quedó la mano levantada. Excuse
Don't
me.
worry. Miguel, 2 out of 2. Breaking Bad, another excellent series. I have seen that 3 times too. I think that if we take a look at how Walter spins to this new character of Heisenberg, it's amazing. Friends, Rosa, I'm sorry, but I cannot stand Friends. I could never watch that. I think only Chandler and Joey, for me, obviously, are likable characters. Rachel, yeah, but the rest of them, I cannot stand them. And this is ridiculous in some point because I don't know if you watch How I Met Your Mother. It's the same thing, but it's more it's closer to my generation. So dark. I had headaches trying to understand that one. No, at one point, I had to do like a chart with all the relationships. I was like, I don't know whose mom this is anymore. Teen Wolf, very good. Ozark, that's awesome. Yeah, I want to hear about this. Andres, yes, sorry, I didn't see that you raised your hand.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Professor, I saw some years ago a very good series called Shogun. I don't know if somebody saw it too, but it treats about the samurai Japanese and when about the middle age middle age Japanese when they combat entre ellos para dominarlos, ¿no? No sé si me expliqué algo.
Yes, yes, I know that series is very good. The Hiroyuki Sanada is one of the best Japanese actors, and there's one I really enjoy that series, especially because I'm very fond to Japan. I really like the culture. I love a lot of things from Japan, but one thing that I didn't like about this series, and it's actually from the feudal period of Japan. We're talking about the 17th century, is that they try to portray Portugal and Spain like they're the bad guys, and England, oh, we're going to save you. And no, it was not the case. But it's a very good series. Historically, it has a lot of flaws, but it's very good. And I think that, well, they're working on second season actually, so I'm eagerly expecting that. Very good. Okay, and this, ¿quién me falta? Jonathan, yes.
My favorite series is The Office. It's so fun. It's very fun, but the first season is a bit boring.
I think it's hilarious. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if you're aware that this series is based on a British sitcom. So it's one of the rare cases where I like the American more than the British one. It's very good, and it's funny as hell. Miguel, yes, let's wrap it up.
Thank you, teacher. Well, I like a lot of CA series, and well, the best, in my opinion, is Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Ozark, 6 Feet Under, Shooter, Doctor House, Grey's Anatomy, The Last of Us. Ay, se me fue el nombre, Juego de Tronos, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
And Ozark, The Last of Us, and The X-Files. I like that. And who else? Charmed. And that's it.
The Charm, that's an old one. I remember that.
Yes.
So I think that you like dark dramas.
Yes, American Horror Story, of course.
Yeah, I think those are the best. Most of the series you mentioned, I really enjoy those. And like Rosa said, once you go Korean, it's difficult to go back to USA series. Yes, I agree with that. I think that Korea and Japan have a very different approach to storytelling, so this could be very interesting. I love anime, so a lot of people think that I only like explosions and things. I even don't like Dragon Ball, to be honest. I like these dark anime series that are quite interesting. American Horror Stories is so good. Not all the seasons, but most of them. I really enjoy that. I know, Yuritsi, anime is not for everyone, but trust me, there's an anime for you. It's only a matter of doing a little research, and trust me, you're going to find a story that you're gonna like. Claudia, yes.
Hello, Professor. So, can I say something about Breaking Bad?
Of course. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
love that series because we can see how Heisenberg turned his personality so dark in the beginning of the series because his illness, because his family. He did that for I don't know, like I don't remember the word.
¿Qué palabras?
Pretexto.
Context.
A contest for do that everything about the drugs, right? So, but later when he feel the power, he turns so dark about everything. So I love that because that was very interesting. I love see how is that that twist in his personality, and I learn a lot because everybody can turn our personality. I don't know if we can touch the about extreme things about around our lives, or I don't know. That's my opinion, and thank you for letting me talk about it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that in the beginning, Walter does everything because of his family, but in the end, he does that because he likes power. He has lived his child life like an underdog, being underestimated, and suddenly he has power and he is the best doing something. Obviously, this is going to take a really deep hit into your own darkness. I think that it's amazing, and there has been a lot of psychological profiles made out of this series. I think that Brian Cranston is brutal in this series.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Professor.
No, thank you. And Demon Slayer, of course. No, I love that one. Very good. Bueno, ya nos pasamos un poquito de la hora, como siempre, pero vamos a dejarlo hasta acá. Estuvo muy bien la segunda parte de la clase, que todos se animaron a hablar o la mayoría habló de las series, eso me gusta. Vamos a dejar las cosas un poco más ligeras para la siguiente clase. Recuerden que si tienen cualquier duda me pueden escribir o durante la clase. Y bueno, nos vemos el jueves. Que tengan excelente noche. Cuídense mucho. Que estén muy bien.
Chao, profe.
Thank you,
Bye.
teacher.
Thank you. Ciao, teacher. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, teacher. Thank you.